Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have got a request that I did on a live stream the other night, and it's from a band called Sabaton, and the song is called Night Witches. It's a very informative song, as you will see in the reaction when I put it on in a minute. But before we put this reaction on, if you do actually like my videos, then please consider hitting like and subscribe. It supports me, it supports the channel, and I appreciate it very much. So without further ado, this is Sabaton, Night Witches, that I streamed the other night. Right, so okay, as requested by a few of you, this is Sabaton and Night Witches. Can't wait to get into this. I think Sabaton are really cool. I think their power metal style is fantastic, and the messages are great because they're always historic. Now this one has got the story at the beginning of it, as people have told me in the chat, so you know, we'll find out exactly what it's about, so I don't have to Google nothing beforehand. Let's go.
The Germans are resting behind the lines of the Eastern Front, their tents in neat rows. All is in order in the quiet and still of the night. It's cold, and the winter snow crunches under the jackboot of a guard. Looking up into the sky, the snow starts to drift down. It's peaceful here. Was that a noise from the sky? No, it's just the wind. Suddenly, piercing the still of the night, there's an otherworldly scream and a whoosh as a dark form speeds by. And was that a woman's laughter in the distance? There are no engine sounds, and the suddenly fearful German soldier loses his footing and whispers under his breath, "Die Nachthexen." The world is all at once a bloom of fire and ash, and two more dark forms pass without a sound. Hearing the whooping and celebration of these supernatural creatures, the guard shakes himself from his fear and calls out, "Die Nachthexen! Die Nachthexen! The Night Witches!" In the sky above, three planes of the soon-to-be famous 588th Night Bomber Regiment, their engines now running, turn east for home. Time to rearm and refuel for another mission. Coming into land, they're greeted by their Commissar, Yevdokia Rashkevich. The young girls that form the pilots and navigators are between the ages of 17 and 26. They are desperate to take the fight to the Germans and have traveled from all over Russia to join the all-women regiments. The 588th is where the least skilled of all the women are placed, but that didn't stop them from carving their name in history. In the early days, they were largely ridiculed by the Soviet men. Given men's uniforms that were too big and shoes all of the same size, the women did the best they could with the clothes, making them fit with belts or filling the large men's shoes with stuffing. The equipment they were given was woefully out of date. The Polikarpov PO2 was a two-man trainer, underpowered and made of cloth and wood. These old string bags were nicknamed crop dusters, or even worse, sewing machines, due to the noise their tiny engines made. But the women of the 588th ignored the taunts, and despite the odds, turned the plane's shortcomings to their advantage. The planes at maximum speeds were far below the stall speeds of any of the German fighters. Giving them a tight turning circle, they were almost impossible to hit. They were susceptible to small arms fire and anti-aircraft guns, so their strategy was to attack in threes, with a navigator in each plane. At her signal, the pilot would cut the engines and swoop in slowly, silently, dropping their bombs, dealing death from above. Unexpected, undetected, stealth perfected.
Wow.
If necessary, the other two would draw fire from the fighters or from the ground. They slept during the day and rose at dusk to take their vengeance on the invaders. This unnatural bravery and their stealth tactics earned them their title, the Night Witches. The German ace Johannes Steinhoff said, "We simply couldn't grasp that the Soviet airmen that caused us the greatest trouble were in fact women. These women feared nothing."
Oh, well, what a great story, and an in-your-face to the doubters story. This is obviously, they're saying like these women were practically expendable, if you like, because they were the lowest trained, and the equipment was out of date, but they turned that to their advantage with the way they could use the planes, like the tight turning circles because they were slow, and like dropping the bombs in silent because they can whack their engines off and it'll still glide. Night Witches, because obviously the women, absolutely brilliant storytelling, and obviously they getting one over on the Germans as well, aren't they, by doing it this way? Great, what a great story. Now we understand that. We can watch the song. Ooh. Oh.
Somewhere down below, they're looking for the foe. You can hide, you can move, just to fight that attacks their bruise. In the dark, silent through the night, the witches on the fight. Never miss the mark. Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment, 588. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, undetected, still perfected. Also losing ground, retreat.
I love the fact I can understand what the song's about now. Due to the start of that song, it was really, really useful in understanding the lyrics and how bad the situation was, and obviously how they dealt with it. It's really, really cool to hear. The music is fantastic, as always from Sabaton, because the way they do music is they're just incredible. It's like one of those. I called it symphonic metal last time I listened to them, and someone corrected me and said it was power metal. It sounds very similar to the symphonic metal from that area of the world, if you like, from like the Scandinavian countries sort of thing. But I mean, it's blows my head off, this stuff. I love it.
Deviation, undetected, still perfected. Also losing ground, retreat into the sound. Get this in the air. Suddenly appears, confirming all the fears. Strength from which is there. Target bound from around, battle sound from the battleground. Sailing high. Lodging awaits, defeat them at the gates. Live to fight and fly. Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment, 388. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, undetected, still perfected.
Ooh. I absolutely love their guitar solo as well. It's so cool, it's so melodic, and it's so fretwanky, if you like. I also like the fact that they call in these planes the canvas wings of death, because they're obviously the shit planes made out of crap materials, but because they can turn the engine off and glide and drop the bombs, the wings of death, isn't it? Because they didn't hear nothing, they didn't hear the planes, and they never even saw it coming, which is, you know, the whole point of the story. And it's like, fuck you to all them people who said, you know, laughing at him wearing men's clothes and having to stuff things down the socks and everything. It's like, fuck you, we did more than you did. What a great message.
Beneath the starlight of the heavens, unlikely heroes in the sky, as they appear on the horizon, the wind will whisper when the night witches come.
Well, some do get shot down then.
Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, undetected, still perfected. From the depths of Ellie's islands, faster spells, explosive violence, crush at night and quite perfected. Flawless vision, undetected.
32 women, both pilots and navigators, never came home.
Well, that's sad.
The 588th became highly decorated and respected, flying more than 23,000 sorties, dropping over 3,000 tons of bombs. 23 Night Witches were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, although they were disbanded just 6 months after the war and not allowed to fly in the victory parade, given their planes were so slow. From 1956, after she retired from active service, their commissar Yevdokia Rashkevich took it upon herself to find the site of every single one of her girls that was
Wow.
downed, to mark the place and to pay her respects to each one of the incredibly brave night witches.
Wow, what a tribute that was for her to go back to all and like the sites where the planes got shot down and everything, where all of her teammates, if you like, or part of the squadron had been shot down. I mean, it's a little bit of a sad ending when you find out how many people died in that mission. You just, because at the start you're just thinking, oh, they did the successful bomb mission, etc., and this, that, and the other, and they earn the respect, even though a lot of them paid for it with their lives, which is. It's like a bittersweet ending, isn't it? And you want everyone to come home doing well, but to be honest, you don't want a war in the first place, do you? So and like I say, nice tribute from, I can't say her name, for go back and pay homage to the people who lost lives and got shot down, and for the sake of the mission. That was a great request there from Lizzie and Baz. Thank you very, very much. Wow. Oh, I love Sabaton Me. I think they're brilliant. As you can see, that was a really, really good song, really informative, and it's a bit like girl power, if you like. All the people taking the piss out of these women for wearing the clothes, for having the shitty planes that don't go very fast, but they was able to turn their engines off and glide in and bomb and be very, very effective, just as effective, if not more effective, than the actual men with their posh planes, if you like. So it was a really, really good story. I mean, it's a really sad story because so many people died in that war, but taking one for the team in wartime situations is what this song is basically all about, because they all work together. Like the women went that way and that way to try and draw the fire off the ones that were doing the bombs. So it was teamwork, even though people lost their lives, which is very, very sad. And a great song from Sabaton, yet again, knowing their history as they always do. And I'm learning it all the time every time I check one of these songs out. So loved it, absolutely loved it. Anyway, if you like videos, then please hit like and subscribe. If you want to support me on Patreon or any of the social medias, then the link is in the description. Thanks for watching us. I'll see you on the next one.